Outsourcing and offshoring can be explained using the organisational value chain. Why do small business owners hire accountants when they could do the work themselves? Do you service your car when it breaks down, or do you call a mechanic? And who mows the lawns and fixes your dripping tap? It often makes sense to hire a specialist to perform work for you, either because you are too busy doing your own work or because you don't have the skills or ability. Although the hourly rate charged by a lawyer, accountant or electrician may seem high, they perform the work faster and more accurately than if you did it yourself, and this means you can focus on what you do best. The organisational value chain shows the sequence of activities within an organisation and demonstrates how labour and physical inputs from suppliers are transformed into outputs for customers. Value analysis reviews the chain and attempts to find the most effective way of performing activities to improve quality, create value and reduce costs. So when it is cheaper or more effective to do something within a business, then it makes sense to keep that within the organisational value chain. So if an accountant works within a business, they are part of the support activities in the chain. But there are times when using an external accountant is useful, on a specialised transaction, or when you are short-staffed over busy periods, such as year-end. So this type of work may be outsourced. Outsourcing is the term we use when we move part of the organisation's activities outside the value chain and obtain the goods or services from an external party. There are transaction costs attached to dealing externally, and you also have to make sure the provider has the right level of quality and levels of service. Offshoring is slightly different, and it involves shifting work that is performed by a company to a foreign country. Although most people think offshoring automatically means the work has also been outsourced, this is not always the case. Offshoring can remain in-house or captive. This means the work is still performed within the organisation's value chain, but is done in a new overseas location. Outsource offshoring is when the work is done by a third party in a foreign country. This sounds extremely risky, and it often is, because you are a long way away, there may be cultural or legal differences, and high communication barriers. Despite this, there are often many benefits, including lower costs, closer proximity to important customer markets, and access to better technology or systems. An unusual example of outsourcing is the Australian government outsourcing the housing and processing of asylum seekers who have come by boat to Australia, to Nauru, a small island nation. Primary activities and secondary or back office activities can be outsourced, including the manufacture of goods, provision of help desk and customer services, and logistics or transportation. Accountants play many important roles in the outsourcing and offshoring process. By conducting financial analysis, we can determine if there is greater value relocating where the work is performed. Accountants can also work on the project implementation, including resource allocation and budgeting. Once the work is outsourced, we can help prepare the performance measures required to ensure that service levels are met and ensure accountability. And be aware that the general work that accountants perform within organisations is also able to be outsourced, so make sure you are constantly improving your skills or your job may be going too. Now, a quick recap on some terminology. Nearshoring is when you move to a new country, but one that is not far away. For example, from Australia to New Zealand. Offshoring is seen to be where the movement of work is further overseas than nearshoring. Captive or in-house offshoring is where you keep the work within your organisation inside the value chain, while outsource offshoring is when there is a third party or external provider and it is also performed overseas. Insourcing is the opposite of outsourcing and involves bringing work previously performed by external parties back within the value chain. This occurs when transaction costs and other problems become too great. Reshoring or re-onshoring is when you bring offshore work back home to your country of residence. This may be a result of offshoring failure or to take advantage of new opportunities.